Hello, welcome to Steven Shinder Reviews in video form, continuing Chucktober, day 25. This time talking about Chucky, season 3, episode 2, Let the Right One In. And that's a reference to a horror film. And this was directed by John Hyams and had 4 credited co-writers on here. Catherine Shettina, Amanda Blankard, and Alex Delisle, and Rachel Paradise, and this aired October 11th, 2023. Now, Catherine's credits apparently wrote a short called Welcome Home, a short called Familial, and was involved in 21 episodes of the TV show The Bear, which I've been told I should watch. Story editor, written by, and staff writer credits on that. So, interesting that this has 4 co-writers credited. I'm really trying to squeeze this in between things. It's been a really busy day, but the short of it is there's some stuff in this episode that doesn't really interest me too much, even though I think it might be better than the previous episode. We do see more of Henry bonding with the good guy doll, Chucky, thinking that it's actually got the ghost of his deceased brother Joseph, and the family is kind of entertaining the idea, doesn't really want to deprive him of that notion. They don't want to tear his world down or anything. And previously, I had said that Chucky had this little sword, but it's actually this letter opener. Also, I said that the previous episode was Murder at 1600 because of the time, but it's actually the address of the White House, the Dedoy. The Chucky title card in the first episode of the season was made up of American flags. Here it's made up of eyeballs, doll eyeballs. So this is probably the most unsettling looking one for some reason. But Chucky uses the letter opener on the secretary Samantha. It goes for the throat, and her head is left dangling. And he says, "Do I look upside down to you?" And to avoid scandal, the Collinses, the first lady and the president, hire these guys who look like movers to, I guess, smuggle the secretary's body into this antique desk thing and out into a moving truck and get rid of it type thing. And this was pretty sus. Yeah, I guess they really don't want attention uh, because of, if you're a politician, like, you want to avoid scandals, right? But yeah, this kind of plays into, would this be called like political horror, or stuff involving, like, yeah, saying that the government does some shady things now and then, they're not completely transparent. And I mean, there's this agent, Warren Price, who says that I think he said he didn't vote for Collins, but serves the country. And he shows his wife, the first lady, Charlotte, these photos of um, President Collins meeting up with another woman, so having an affair, and this turns into a whole blackmail thing. So there's some drama going on with the family, but it doesn't really interest me that much for some reason. Maybe this would have been more compelling in a different show that's actually like the main cast is politician characters, but this is Chucky, and we're trying to see if he can be defeated and whatnot. Like, this is a slasher franchise, so some of this feels kind of weird and kind of out of place to me. I don't know. Um, I'm trying to see if there's anything I missed regarding stuff at the White House. But Devin, Jake, and Lexi come up with this plan to get into the White House by getting the attention of the older brother, Grant, who has a TikTok and sees Lexi's video where she mentions missing her little sister, Caroline, and they communicate with each other in messages, and eventually manage to get him to meet with them at Balzac, a coffee shop. And I remember when this aired, I thought, whoa, was that some like stupid pun? But no, this is actually a real company, I guess. Balzac Coffee Roasters. And that's spelled Balzac. So they meet with Grant there. Jake and Devin try to give Lexi one-on-one talking time with Grant, so that it seems like they're getting closer, and maybe they'll get into the White House and confront Chucky, see if he knows anything about Caroline. At one point, Grant tries to be serious and says he's really sorry about uh, Lexi's little sister, and that he wants to do whatever he can. And then there's this mood whiplash moment where he's like, "Okay, talk about a boner killer," and it's like, "What? That's what?" Like, it's such an awkward thing. And I do kind of wonder if having four writers on this episode might have made it feel a little all over the place somehow. Um, or I kind of wonder if maybe that's to its flaws, or maybe the episode was originally written and not as good, and maybe a couple other writers improved it somehow. Like, I'm really curious how it might have evolved in the process. But meanwhile, Jake and Devin are trying to get one-on-one time, and Miss Fairchild accidentally walks in on them before they can do anything. Uh, they almost have kind of a like sex ed talk, but Devin's like, "Oh no, we know enough," and Miss Fairchild still says, "You can talk to me about anything." And Miss Fairchild, such a nice, good character, um, which makes it all the more disappointing that she gets killed by Chucky, and he really rubs that in the trio's faces, and uh, he uses the flag to kill her, if I remember correctly. Sorry, it's just been such a busy day. Um, but yeah, that really ups the stakes. And I know whenever these characters that I really like die, there might be some people watching who are like, well, duh, like Chucky's a killer. He's gonna kill anyone no matter what. But it's still upsetting when the characters I really wish wouldn't die. So yeah, that's a really disappointing fate for Miss Fairchild. Um, yeah, I'm trying to figure out like what score would I give this episode, because I feel like not a whole lot that interests me happens, and it's a little disappointing, but still a bit better than the season premiere episode. I think I'd give it a 6.25 out of 10. It's still just kind of okay. And looking ahead, the next episode, which is titled Jennifer's Body, so another homage to a horror film, it looks like that'll bring us back to the developments of what happened with Jennifer Tilly, Jennifer's Body, that makes sense. Um, Tiffany is still in possession of Jennifer Tilly's body, and Nika is going after her. So I vaguely remember maybe enjoying that episode more, but I guess we'll see when I talk about it tomorrow here on Steven Shinder reviews in video form, as part of Chucktober. So yeah, this is a very quick one, but might feel bare bones the way I described it, but I feel like I pretty much touched on the points that I felt needed to be talked about. Um, yeah, kind of just an okay start for season 3 so far, but I do remember it gets better later. So thanks for tuning in, and see you all soon.